And I am live. Hello, welcome Papa Pariah. Thank you for the resub. And why do I close that? No, I wanted that open. I just wanted to go over here. Hello, yes. Go down a little bit with my... A little bit more. How are you doing? I was just watching Muse's Touches stream. And got a little bit too busy with it, so I am in fact a little bit late. As you could see, there was no, I don't know if you ever noticed it, but I have a countdown for 5 minutes. Didn't happen. But I did get my coffee. I have my Nagash over here. I have my paints ready. And I just got again a nice notice from everybody in chat over there. Is he still not finished? No. And I still have 45 days to go. So or better said, yeah, it's even more than 45 days officially. We still have to somewhere in June. So it's now May, April, yeah, it's more than it's almost 60 days. No, April, April, May, June. Yeah, that's more than 60 days even. But I'm not worried as we only have, what was it? 91% already done of the total count of needed fallen hairs. So yeah, I'm not really afraid that we will not get it. Although the last few times there were a few people who donated very much, said they were quite going through their points, and that is what that community challenge is for. Get rid of those damn fallen hairs so you cannot get me drunk on stream. Hint, hint. But how is everybody's day? And I really need to I don't mind to read my own text, at least that is what they are there for, but I have so many. I should maybe time them a little bit differently. I now notice. I had a very oh my god. Calm down, brain, calm down. I had a nice relaxed Saturday. I even did what I planned to do, which was cleaning my hobby room, mainly out of a lot of old DMing stuff. I mean, I haven't been
Tactical nuke incoming!
Yeah. Hello, Muse's Touch. Thank you for the raid. Oh, they are coming right in.
Take a shot, motherfucker. Take a shot.
Oh, calm down. Now I know what you mean by chaos. It's chaotic. Too much. And a hype train. Oh no, we have... Oh! No, the TV is bust. Almost. It's almost. Oh no, it is done. 100%. Damn! Guys! 60,000 points. Wee! Okay, that's let's do that. That's one thing. Viking Pie, 16,000 points. Nice, thank you. And why is my chat paused? There's a lot of things going on. Muse's Touch, 11,230 points. And that was that. You got a kill shot, yes you did. Good job everybody. So, yes, I will get my shots. This little body is going to get painted as soon as I, well, at least I start with him in June. That's what the whole thing was. About the time that the whole community challenge, what did somebody say, shot? Yes, somebody did say shot. I lost my bottle of rum yesterday, meaning the last shot I did was from that bottle. So I have to go to my Wild Geese of Irish whiskey. That is a little bit of a leftover from my this year St. Patrick's Day. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Num. Yeah, I know. Sorry, that was my little big squig. Viking Pie, on your health. Oh, it's still got a little bit used to. It's a little bit different taste than vanilla flavored rum. But how is everybody doing? And let's see, I'm going completely back because we have, of course, Muse's Touch, John the Templar, Mini Mummy, Viking Pie, A Night Whisper. Hello everybody. Did I forget anybody? I hope not. And oh, now I see what you mean. Oh yeah, chat. Yeah. They have all those nice little blocks around, all those people that can. Yeah, let's take that one off. Why? The radar. Well, okay. Why not? Those I will leave on. Yeah, let's use that. Those alls. Yep. And so yeah, again. Oh, I see it again. We have 60,000 points for the. And as I did make a remark yesterday, his name is spelled wrong. I just found out. As I was trying to find some background on it, the bust is based on a model that is used in a D&D adventure. It's a rogue ranger, tiefling. That is what I could find. The one thing that I could not find anymore, on the old site, Loot Studios also had a little bit of a background story for that model. Nice. They don't do that anymore. Damn. So yeah. And why did I want to know it? Because, well, I have also been digging in the backstory of Nagash. Hello, there we are. Yes. Just to find out about, yeah, well, his backstory. Maybe, yeah, that was it. Mainly also about his books, how he became to be the guy he was. I do think that they did rewrite his history a little bit. As I know, the old model of Nagash, when that came out, you only literally had the undead. You didn't have the vampire counts or Camry, which are the mummies and that those guys. They later did split it because vampires and he's looking really good. Yeah, thank you. I did try my best. I have to do a little bit on this, as it is now looking like this. this non-metallic metallic, and I'm really proud of it, does look quite good. If you zoom in, it gets still a little bit spotty, so I have to work on it a little bit more. Excuse me. All the excitement is coming up. And you gotta run though on, okay? But hey, we have to go out shopping for prom. Oh, very important. So thank you. Yes, we will have. We try to have a great stream, and success with shopping for the prom dress. Very important. So what was I telling? Oh, right. The whole history of Nagash is probably a little bit rewritten as a time that the old Nagash, one of the ugliest models GW has ever made, and yes, I really mean that. They was released. They still had just undead armies and so no Camry, but the backstory that I did read tells me that he was a prince from Camry that did join a certain cult that was obsessed with beating death. Well, with a lot of troubles and everything. That is too strong at once. And thanks to some dark elves that he captured, he did get his hand on their dark magic, and he finally became the Supreme Lord of the Undead. Although he is considered by some people a god, but he is not. And I have to get my papers, but never mind. If you want to know more about him, Google. That's what I did. It's a nice story to know, but certainly not necessary for painting him. But it does indeed tell about his, I always, at the start, I thought this was more like a helmet. A crown is normally only something around the head. No, this is indeed. Aren't you basically Google? I wish I was. I wish I was. Or do you mean you have to Google everything? Yes, I do, because my brain does not keep much information inside. That's because my whole head has quite some exits where all that information can fly out. Also over here, without me noticing. So yeah, no, it's, and one of the I wouldn't need to say stupid things, but I never, even when I played war games, I never ever cared much about the whole lore and knowledge about certain people, special characters in there. But since I am starting to paint this model, and I see a lot of people like Gareth, who is who I call Mr. 40k, and I'll tell you in a moment why. He can just has read so much, but he also remembers so much about it, which is remarkable for somebody like me, because I have now written, it's I'm getting it. Anywho, it is in total nope, that's not. Oh, those 2 extra pages. It is in total. Oh, I didn't use my 4 pages long. This is the whole law about Nagash. He even did face a Sigma, which is well, you know, Age of Sigma probably. A very important person for the humans. He didn't die, but he was resurrected later on by Arkan the Black, a very also well-known person in Warhammer lore, and Manfred von Karstein, a vampire, yes. Only there was one problem because they needed, what was it, 9 sacrifices of holy blood, and they were mistaken because they took one girl, and she was not as pure as she should have been, and thus he came alive again, or unalive, whatever you want to say. But he did manage to bind to the wind of death to his will. This is one of the 5 magic schools in Warhammer, and he became a living avatar of Shyish, which is the blue. I did write it down. It is the purple wind of magic. And then I was really pleased with that, because as I have been telling you all, I made these ghosts all purple because that's more like a necrotic necromancery color. Hey, I was right. Really? Yeah. So yeah. Oh, I was also just going completely back just before this for the raid. I did have quite a nice relaxed, because purple is always the answer. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, my favorite color is still black, which is But okay, that's a little. I do like purple indeed. And I have to be honest, since I follow your stream, I like purple even more than I used to. So you have been inspiring people. Yes, yeah. I mean, I am wearing your shirt again. Oh, I don't know if you saw my my Twitter or Instagram message. I have made, while you were streaming, I have made a new few pictures of myself wearing this shirt. Because I am beating. Oh, yeah, no, that was not intentionally, but I was wearing it. So later, when I was posting them, I saw. Oh yeah, oh nice. Oh, they were all reversed. I don't know why. Why do cameras, the telephone cameras, if you make a selfie, why do they reverse them in mirror image? I don't like that. So I had to reverse them all because, hey, if the text is, if they can read the text, then they is visible, then they should be able to read it at least. Yeah, that was one of the things that I was doing, making a few thumbnails mainly, so I can also recognize easier on YouTube what movie is what. is right now YouTube makes the yeah, you can on YouTube you can tell, no, I want that picture, but he just takes 3 screenshots of the movie, and most of the time those are just like those things are just like what you see now on screen, so you have no idea what is happening. Whoops. No. Moment. Let's go to. There is a little. I am holding him correctly, so we have to go like there. There we go. Good. I am in focus again. Oh, last time it didn't work, so I'm going to try it again. Okay, still doesn't work. I don't know why. I have Cloudbot open. Yeah, Roger does it also not work. Why? Where are my sound files? Yeah, they are there. Good. I will look into that later. Not really in the mood for it right now, and I'm also live, so I don't want to get too much of that. Yeah, it's something for behind the screens, for after the stream. Now I want to get more white. The points. So yeah, I did have a nice relaxed Saturday. I did throw out a lot of DMing and GMing stuff. I had about 18 of those big that they use in offices, those binders, those really big bags, hundreds of pages of all kinds of lists that I always had with me when I was DMing. I do have them all on as a PDF because I did buy them as a PDF, only I still do not very much like to use a tablet for reading on PDFs. But as I have the PDFs and I'm not longer DMing, what am I doing with 18 of those big binders in my house when I can use that room for other stuff? So I have filled my paper basket, the recycling bin, almost to the rim, with hundreds of pages of lists going from dungeon smells or room smells, potion subscription, how a potion should smell or look, or what it does. All kinds of really nice. Hey, Chinua! Welcome, welcome! I was just telling chat that I did clean up my hobby room a little bit with a lot of old D&D stuff. Alright, yeah, you had dinner. Hope it was a good one. Yeah, I will use a darker color later to get a little bit more contrast in here. There is a nice contrast, but just not that what I am really looking for. But until that time. Now we get to all those nice little details that really, where you have to get the Mini into really weird positions. Without touching too much of the Mini. But also hold them in angles that it's, well, for a Mini painter they are not weird, but still my brain has something. This is the normal way of holding a Mini. It was just pizza, huh? Sounds good to me. I mean, I only had a banana for dinner, but then I had a really big lunch. And also a very late lunch. And is there is anybody working on something? I guess that Carol is working on that non-metallic metallic. But did you have a game today? Not that it. And what is you do in an hour? Oh, so you still have a little bit of time. Nice. Yeah, I did find this week a little bit of my what I call my painting mojo back. Mainly thanks to Kepma. Why not? Let's be so nice to give a few shout outs, of course. Now, most of us do know her, at least. We have also Night Whisper has just gone, but he's still there. We have who is the other people who are on Mini Mommy. Don't forget her. Oh, she has left chat, but it's okay. Oh no, wait. Start with that. No, she's also still here. Then I have also, let's see, who do we have? You know, just started painting my old Skaven Shaman after 30 years in a box. Oh, that's nice on time. Come on. That's certainly nice on time. I have there's someone sitting right here who has the same things, and I want to do if we, oh yeah, Viking Pie is painting the Odin bust. Is that one working? Let's see. Yeah. And if you have, I mean, my chat is link friendly, but also shout out friendly. If you have streamers that you think that if you want to mention them, mention them. Johnny the Beard has gotten me now into what was the game? South Park, The Stick of Truth. It's an RPG. I did play it an hour this today. I watched him play it yesterday. Didn't even know that there was a. I believe even there are 3 of them. 3 RPGs from South Park. I am quite a fan of South Park. So yeah. Of course, I had to. Well, let's just say it's from Ubisoft. And the weird thing is, on Ubisoft, you can download it online nowadays. It was £25, and that was a little bit too much. But on a third party, yeah, server, shop, whatever, I could buy a key for €7, which is £5. So, okay. And it's not a temporary one, it's just a full license. But yeah, I mean, it's I haven't gotten very far, as I didn't realize. I am used to World of Warcraft, so where you leave the game, that is where your character is staying. Yeah, not with this game, of course. Oh, that's why. Oh, they have a save game. Damn, I have to start over again. Second time I did save. Went back later. Hey, but I already played this part. Yeah, but because you have save points. You don't save at the moment where you are. No, you have... Oh. Anywho, Cartman is, as always, really, really nice. But good. That's why I want to mention Johnny Beard. It was a really nice stream yesterday, and yeah, I normally always forget to rate after my stream. There's always somebody on. So at the end, if I forget, give it a shout that I am allowed to rate people. And if you have suggestions, give them. As I said before, I do sometimes forget certain things. And I have been. That's the. Okay. Oh, hey, Paulfish, thank you for the follow. I already thought I was on 33 133 followers. Now I have 134. Thank you very much. That's worth a cheer. And about that Mouseling Space Marine, I was a little bit surprised. For my I thought that I had worked on it almost all week. And normally if I sometimes forget things. Yes, I do sometimes. I do always keep all the, if I unwrap a Reaper Mini, I keep this thingy, the card. I always write on it when I open it, or in fact when did I start with it. Most of the time I forget also to write when I finish them. Most of the time I do not still have finished them, so I do not write it also. Only 3 days. Damn. Okay, that's I was a little surprised. So I can paint fast. Yes, you can. Yeah, but you have always done that. But you are trying to unlearn that. Oh, is that it? But then you do get more mini space painted. Yes, I know. But not to the quality that I want. I want to give them just a little bit extra. Instead of those Warhammer minis that I always used to paint. I also am, yeah, I've been saying that for a couple of times now, that I still want to try to get some streams into the normal weekdays. Only yeah, I cannot schedule them. The only little problem that I now remember why I not have done that before is most of the time Capmaster. Another one. Whoa. Why do I always forget the edge? And an enter. There we go. Also a great painter. Is also able to chat a little bit more than that I normally do. For him it comes a little bit more natural. Let's put it like that. I sometimes struggle too much. Oh, the floatsel has escaped. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I am always too busy to thinking about what shall I talk about, and in those cases my brain normally goes blank, so then I'm just concentrate on my painting. But I did have a nice, oh, another one. Oh, do I? Yes, another streamer that I want to mention. He also streams very irregularly. Uh-oh. Yeah. I just had the name in my head and I know it's ends with sashimi. It's I believe he is British or American, but he lives in Japan now. Has also a painting stream. Repeatedly tells us that he is a very slow and an okay painter. Uh-huh. But we had a nice chat last week, and the reason that he is streaming is it is a little bit of a extra push to get into painting every day, or at least the days that he can paint and can stream. And that yeah, gave me again a little bit of a push to still get a little bit more streaming done. Not so much for the streaming itself, but more to get also more painting done. So thanks to him, I have finished. Oh, where is my little my little mouseling? It's over here. There he is. It's well, yeah, it is not a Games Workshop model, so the armor was quite a little bit different than I was used to. But as it is a Nurgle, it doesn't need to have that pristine look. But I'm very glad. It's nice work, even if I say it myself. And let's see the other one that I started. It's water effect is still drying. Ink is a little bit too dark, damn. But okay, it's my winged hippopotamus, or winged hippo. That's was taking a bath because, well, his hind legs are a little bit of a misprint. But I still have quite some layers of water effects to go. As I thought I still had some resin for it, so I can pour a nice big layer on it. Unfortunately, that stuff has an expiration date. The resin itself is in fact still usable, only I need the harder, the stuff that makes it set. Yeah, from this stuff I cannot buy that on its own. I have to buy it as a set. Yay, no, I'm not going to do it, so I'm using the Vallejo, is this, no, this AK still water. Does the same thing. You don't have to mix it, it is one product. The only thing is, it is only used for very more for only surfaces of very not so deep water. Very not so deep water, yeah. Come on, this is a mess. This is a mess. So I have to get the necessary thickness of water. I will have to use several layers, and they cannot be thicker than 2 millimeters. And I have to go about at least 1 centimeter. So his hind legs are a little bit more hidden. But luckily that is something that I can do every day a little bit. So that one will be finished at the end of this month for sure. In the meantime, I am planning, hope this streak holds on a little bit, because I still have to paint 2 commissions. That is, I just got another commission in, but I still have to find the right mini for it. It's from my new D&D group. Someone has sent me, he has made a model on Hero Forge, just as an example. And so I will look into my little pile of models if I can find something that looks like it, to see if he can agree to it. Oh no, and I have a 4th commission also. Why is that so shiny? Okay. And then slowly make sure that this little guy gets done. I will leave the bones. I should try. Why not? Why not? But not on this model. Do I have a model at hand that I can misuse for that? Nope, 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 nope. I'll be right back. One moment, please. Where are you? Over there. And I am back. As you can see, I just got a little idea and I'm going to try that out. Yes, in the middle of my stream. This will not be the origin. This is a Mind Flayer bust I once got free on my mini factory. Didn't even write down from who it is, but okay. I'm just doing in between a little bit extra work, just trying out something because I got a brain fart. As these details are quite small, but the brown is still a little bit too much. It needs a little bit more whiter. A little bit more, but I do have a white ink. Sorry, it's yeah, officially not an ink, it's a wash. I just got a little idea about it, but that's for later. We have still 7 books to paint. They all have to be a little bit more like flesh, as all 9 books are bound in flesh, but it's really weird because 2 of them look more like they are made from metal. But okay, hey, if they are flesh bound, then let's paint them more fleshy. But to paint them all the same color is not done, of course. So we have several colors, two very unhealthy ones. A little bit of frozen flesh and hellbound flesh. And two more, what is it? This is light skin and this is resurrection flesh. Well, looks quite healthy to me. And we can of course combine those colors a little bit to get more colors out of it. And with all the highlights, maybe a wash, we will get some nice... I don't think this green will really look like flesh anymore, but that's a good thing. I don't want to make them all the same, and I did have the box over here. Yeah, they did somewhat the same. Oh, some are even complete black, so they are also not real flesh. And let's see what would be a nice one. Let's start with the healthy look. I have one, gave them already a basic color, but I'm not really happy with it. The bones and metal parts I will of course paint later. This one is tied with some kind of a cord. I would almost say some kind of sinew. Why not? To make it really nicely dark. This color does remind me a little bit of the rosy flesh color from Reaper. Let's see here. It goes on. On the inside, all the parchment that I did yesterday, I just used a yellowish white. And then a flesh wash on all of them. And just before the stream, you cannot even see it anymore, so I will have to redo that. Yay! I singled out some pages and made some streaks on them. You do not even see that anymore. No, let's do that one another color. I will have to, if I am going to use that skin color, that's a very light skin color, I will have to paint that white first. Old reflexes never die, so I start shaking by hand. No, I have a vortex shaker. Are you Bertha? Yes. So, and this is a very nice even position to paint in. I noticed yesterday as almost everything is in the way with this model. It is a beautiful model, greatly sculpted, and it's good that it is a model kit, that it is not comes with one model that you can just have to prime and paint. Otherwise you would have to break it literally down. Don't paint this one in its all, because damn, even with all parts not yet connected, there are still parts that are in the way. I have to. My leg is acting up a little bit. Not even from hard work, but more from a lot of sitting that I have been doing the last few days. Not at work. But even though the weather was, some days was really nice, I did go on my bicycle to work, but that is about all the exercise I did give myself. And that was seemingly a little bit, it was not enough for my legs. I have a little bit of cramps here and there. Not very serious. I've had them before, which is a measure for, hey, you yeah, I don't get cramps from just sitting, but very active day job, a lot of walking and then sitting 3-4 hours at a time on this painting table, or at this painting table. So yeah, then my muscles are like, don't like that. Oh yeah, I should get up after 2 hours and walk around. Normally what I did when I was painting is set literally an alarm clock for 1.5 or 2 hours. So I did know, oh yes, it's time to get up, stretch a little bit and that stuff. But I haven't painted so much the last few months that I have completely forgotten about it. Again, great memory. And yeah, one of the things that I always notice, bad habits, my body remembers better than the good habits. And the bottle does look a little bit like, still a little bit like a purplish color. A little bit. Oh yeah, that was what I was, or better said, grey with a little bit of purple. And I think, yeah, it comes very close to dark elf skin, which is nice. I have the triad, which means if this is the flesh color, I can use this, the dark elf highlight, later on for a highlight. Really? Yeah. Oh, nice. Viking, who decided to make those damn eyes so small? Miniatures with small eyes? Nah, they don't. Never. Yep. There's only one thing that I can tell you. Well, the arm, it's a small bust, yeah. There's only one thing that I can, piece of advice that I can give. Try and learn. There are certain things that I can tell you about painting eyes. One thing, so anyhow, is if you are painting a bust that does have eyes, that's normal. I would indeed say start with the eyes and then paint the face around it. There's a lot of times it was, hey, let's do the eyes at the end, and then you, at least that is my experience, most of the time you will hit the face again, but and it is indeed practice. It's I am sometimes even amazed that my eyes, oh, I am painting eyes, oh good. Yeah, now maybe I can show you a little, and I know that Muse's Touch knows that little trick too. If you at least then you do have to start with the with painting the eyes before you start painting the skin. So I hope this one, this is dry in a few minutes. If I forget, please remember me. I can show you. Indeed, bigger eyes are sometimes a little bit easier. Not that I really, but I sorry. So. Although I do find with a lot of even very small minis, I just like to make them white, nice white dot in it, making sure that the dot is never completely in the middle, but always touching at least one of the eyelids, so it looks like, yeah, because if you put a very small dot in the middle of the eye, they are going to look more like this, and that's not always very natural. Also, I have noticed with my very small brushes I have here that's really great lining brushes. I can still get most of the time a nice round, a nice line on top of the eye and under the eye for a little bit of the extra shadow. But that did take me quite some practice, but come on, dry. Good, we have an eye. I take indeed a smaller brush. I will take white right now. Normally I will add a little bit of red to it, so you don't get a complete white eye. As I said, do this before you start painting the rest of the model. So it is not in fact very important to keep into the eye socket. I am exaggerating a little bit. There we have the eye. It has to dry a little bit. Which means I will go back to painting this one. Those two I have painted. I'll put that one. Why am I putting all my brushes on my desk while I have two beautiful painted dragons to do that for me to hold them? That one was painted white. This one is a really nice skin. Oh, I will make these nicely green, at least as a base color. if I will later on add a wash in a very light skin color, still will have a little bit of the green poking through, so it will look quite unhealthy.
Take a shot, 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 motherfucker, take a shot, take a shot, take a
Oh
shot,
yeah,
take a shot.
I am going to paint eyes, right? Yeah. That's a good practice if you can do it drunk. As I remember, I did last year paint very beautiful eyes while it might steady the hands. Yeah, apparently. Good. Shot glass. My Irish whiskey. So the next community challenge, I don't know when, but probably next year somewhere, will cost quite a little bit more because you still have too much fallen hairs to give me shots. So on your health. Oh, compared to that rum, it does indeed nicely burn down. The taste is good, no problem. I will finish this one quickly. Well, indeed, yeah, as I said, painting eyes, it's a lot of people hate it, or at least have something like they don't like it. It's hard. I did watch, was it last night or today? I believe it was today. I'm not even sure. Someone, yes, did indeed paint some eyes on a very small mini, and as always, the first eye you paint, perfect, exactly as I wanted. Next one, or it's one big blob, or it's crooked, or so. Yeah, there are always a little bit of problems with it. Anyway, we have painted in the eye socket completely white. Now we take the color you want the pupil to be. In this case I take a little bit of a very dark grayish brown, and I literally, let's get a nice point in on my brush, and I try to paint not a dot but a straight line over the whole eye, the eyeball. Because this model is maybe a little bit too big for it, but I guess you can do the same with I can even make it a little bit for bust. It does normally work a little bit different, but this is, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. In fact, that is the eye. If I now paint over with my skin tone, oh, this is not my skin tone. Yeah, that is my skin tone. The thing that I do, also depending if you want a black line around it, then it is not a bad idea to start with that one. So I am the line that I normally paint completely afterwards, I am now painting completely at the beginning, because the rest you can paint over with your skin color. as I am doing here. I have a little bit of a point in there. And this is a very nice mini that has some nice deep eye sockets. Yeah, there is all the white is now gone. And if you use not a if you need a different, if you use a different skin color, you can now paint the skin color over it, and you have your eye. In fact, in this case, my skin color, I am going to use a brown. The brown that I used for the bones. Of course, I have to be a little bit careful. And now I can be a little bit less careful, as long as I don't touch the eye. And even this method, it is a very simple method, but still with all those methods, still practice, practice, practice. I don't paint everything in this brown, as I want some shading. Oh, there is one little part I forgot. It's one of the deeper recesses near his eye. There we go. And thus we can fill out the rest of the eye sockets with the highlights. Okay, yep. There goes my brush through 3 different colors. So so steady. My hands are not that steady, but probably just because out of amazement that this does work so well. And you can see you can just build up your skin colors slowly, and you still have a, it's a little bit zoomed out. I should have maybe zoomed in a little bit more, but let's see what we can get. Oh, that's too much. There we go. Can I get it? Elbow. And that's about painting eyes. And I do see, yeah, there's still a little bit of, as I say, if you painting most human like you have one good eye and technically only is blind on one eye, or then you are, then it's no problem, because the first eye normally 99 times out of the 100 that goes good. It's always the second eye, as I just, because if you now look at the model, a little bit lower, he is not looking straight forward, he's looking a little bit to his left. So that means that I have to make the other eye also look a little bit to the left. Nice. And I did indeed. That's also one of those things with close-ups. Those are really nice. As long as you are good at box art painting. For especially tabletop art painting, close-ups are normally not that nice. I'm quickly going to no, I'm not going quickly to. I was painting Nagash. This was a little thingy that I wanted to do on the side. So I hope that helps a little bit. I will give this one a second coat. The color is not really that covering all the darker primer. The rest is all bones around it. And also a lot of people think always that if you're painting small details, that you always have to use small brushes. Is also not always true. As long as your brush has a very nice small point, you can even use a very big brush to paint the details, because you are only using the tip of the brush. For example, I do have a brush that I almost never use. Almost tastes as new, because this is a very expensive brush. You see, it's quite thick. Where was my other brush? This one. It's thick. Has a big belly. Who hasn't? I like my massive Zero Raphael brush. Yeah. I mean, this is my 2.0 Artis Opus brush. For details, I'm just only saying this tip is really good. I can almost do everything with it. The only thing is, this is a official Heavy Metal Games Workshop large brush that I bought 15, 20 years ago. It was then they started their new range. It was a limited edition. It's a really great. I have painted a lot. I have painted some very small details with it. Only one thing to say, that you don't need as much brushes as I always use. In fact, 2 brushes, one for the large areas and one for details, is certainly no problem. But that is also very personal. Every painter has his own way of painting and doing stuff. We all know probably by now. This one has already, yeah, it's more of a brown color, I believe, a reddish brown. Yeah, we can do with a little bit of which one did I not? Those two I did. That's the purple. This one has to be done. That one I painted. Oh, right. That one was white because I wanted to. Let's see if it is all. Yes, it's dry. Because I wanted to use the very pale skin color, so it stays pale and you don't see the black under it. That is originally the base coat. Instead of white, I could have used a darker yellow or ochre color. But it was not completely black. This was more of a gray, as I did use zenithal highlight, or some sort of zenithal highlight. Now, if it was really black, I probably would have to use several coats of white. as white is not a very strong color, especially not over black. And then a ochre color would have been more helpful. One of the first real painter tips I got from a fellow gamer. If you want to paint a very light, bright color over black, never start with white, always with the ochre, as ochre does cover the black much better than the white. You probably need at least 2, maybe even more coats of the white to cover black. And after the ochre you can put a nice white coat over it, and white does cover ochre very well most of the time, depending a little bit on how thin the paint is, of course, but I guess you all understand that. Now this book is quite metallic. You know what? They did have a black book. Let's paint it all black. Where is my black? Over here. Oh, blacker than black. My noir black. By the Reaper. As noir is black in French, so it's literally called black black, for those who didn't know. The swirls are in the way. That emblem is maybe yeah. Let's take it all with me, with us. Take it all to the black. Make it all black. Paint it all black. I want to paint it black. What? Oh, that's the Rolling Stones. My knowledge of music and especially titles and sorts is very bad. No lyrics, even worse. That's mainly because if I want to learn the lyrics to a song, I have to read them first. I can never understand what people are singing. It's a weird, a little bit weird thingy, but I can. If I try to learn the lyrics just by listening to a song, I will. Ending up singing the song phonetically, so I just mimic the sounds but not the words, because I don't understand the words. Why? My brain is a little bit strange. The same thing I have with people that have a heavy dialect, and that's something that I have to get used to as at work. A lot of people have heavy dialects. Well, I probably also now have quite a heavy dialect, but okay, I don't have to listen to myself. My brain cannot compute when somebody is. It's not so much if it's spoken out in a different way. It's not so much that the singing is something different. You do in a different form than talking. and that's something my brain apparently cannot compute. Which means that I can hear the sounds, but I have no idea what the words are. Not in Netherlands, it's when it is sung in Dutch and it's a slow song. Yeah, then I probably can. And I have, but then still I have to listen to it quite a few times. But normally, no. Like for example, I like the new song from Miley Cyrus, Flowers. Like it very much. And a colleague of mine was singing it, very nice, but I have no idea what. Yeah, but so I literally looked up the lyrics on Google. Well, luckily we do have Google nowadays. And the next day I could at least. Sometimes we have a little bit of a sing along. And so next day we did a little bit of a sing-along. See, you do know the lyrics. Yeah, but I had to study them. I mean, I just print out the lyrics and I sing 2 times with the song. Okay, yeah. Then it's less of a problem. But it is not just because I did listen to that song. And that's the same thing with accents. Certain words people pronounce differently, not only in sound, but mainly in rhythm. Or I I don't know exactly how it works, but that's why I also hate rap, because I cannot make anything out of that. It's literally just if somebody is rapping something, yeah, it's nice, but what is he singing? No idea. So, go to this book. It already had a nice dark color, and now I am messing up again as the paint was not dry, and I did know that. So just in fact, it's more glazing almost than layering. Just give it a little bit of a different tone in color. Let's see. I believe this one needs a wash. If we now use the highlight, Dark Elf highlight. It is a MSP paint, so it's not that thick as. Okay, pokey tool. Ooh, that's a big. Ooh, almost poked myself. No, I have enough red paint, thank you. It is almost a gray, so I will use a little bit of a very, very light gray. Nope, I can certainly also use a white for that. For which, what was the book? This one. So we have the dark Drow elf? What was it? Oh my god, I forgot the dark elf. Still dark elf. The dark elf highlight. of those bones. I should have added a little bit of the original color first, but for first highlight, oh no, it's nice and thin. Now we have the back. This is the 25th times. Yeah, 25th time I am painting on this model. At least on stream. I believe I did a few things off stream. But that's for me historical. I've never painted so many hours on just one model. Just saying. And this is not even a competition model. Have a great rest of your stream. It's game time. Yeah, well, thank you very much for the raid and for your stream. Have a great Saturday. Have a great game. Enjoy. See you next time, Carol. Thank you. I'm pressing so hard that when I release my thumb hurts. That's relax. This is supposed to be relaxing. Really? Yeah, but I have to relax. But I'm streaming. I have to entertain people. No, you don't. If people don't like what they see here, they can just leave free for nothing. Yeah, but no but. Alright. By adding white, it's still has a little bit of a hint of, maybe a little bit too bright at once. Still has a nice hint of purple in it. Come on, thumb. Probably the part is a little bit too thin. That's where the paint holders come in. But yeah, if I put this one on the paint holder, how? There are paint holders I have seen that can be used for all kinds of minis, or even not minis, but for all kinds of things you want to paint, with a lot of screws and everything, but they are not easy if you have to replace all things very frequently. Should I go a little bit lighter? In fact, because the room between this all is not that big, I guess if I make all those bones a very dark color, it will be good enough for the effect that I wanted to. These bones we are going to use not my normally standard brown, which is Dubai. No, it's not. Where are you? It's Dubai brown, but we are now using the petroleum gray. My new recipe. It also makes that you get a little bit more difference in the bone colors here and there. I am going to paint all those ribs. Oh, let's call them ribs of the book. First from this side.
Here we are, we locked down in different cities.
I don't know what the original color was that I used on this book, but it looks a little bit like this looks a little bit like a flesh color, a little bit of an orange flesh color. Oh yeah, if you make this and then by using this darker color, the purplish decayed flesh tone gives a nice contrast. I can later on always decide to make the skin tone, of course, a little bit darker, lighter even. I guess I have to announce it is a wild blossom. I guess. Blossom would be probably written a little bit different. But that was my first reaction to that name. Hey, a blossom. No, blossom. Probably, I guess. This painted in. Now we turn the book and we go paint the other sides of the ribs. That part is probably best made metal color. I'm talking about this part here with the lock. And then a very little skull in the middle of it, of course. Nagash, what's your deal with all those skulls? Damn. Edges. I have to. Oh, whoop. Mm. Oh wow. 20 more minutes. Time flies when you have fun and working concentrated. I like this. Of course, this will be a more of a bone color, so we will see how that looks. But as I said, we can go a little bit lighter on the purplish skin tone later on. This side will be a little bit more difficult because of those nice purple swirlies. And Viking Pie is heading off. Thank you. Thanks for the fallen hairs, for the shots, for your chat. Good luck with painting the bust. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Ooh, watch out, not inside the book. Otherwise I have to paint that all again. And those are on both sides. Not completely. This, of course, Nagash is the big undead general in your army. So nice, lot of details. Every model did have this much detail. Well, this much stuff hanging around. I don't think you would buy much models to paint your army, as it will take even more time to, I mean, war gamers especially do not want to spend too much time, most more war gamers. Let's be clear about that. There are quite some war gamers that indeed enjoy painting just as much as playing with their armies, and they do amazing paint jobs. I cannot get that color completely. That's that orange. I cannot reach it, of course, as I cannot bend my brush all the way. I will have to maybe repaint a little bit of the flesh later. No. I hope not. Well, I did almost forgot the so the back of the book. After this I will be using my Dubai Brown and my Orico. No, Sahara Yellow, and then I am using Mojave White, right? Mojave White, as it was just a little bit darker. Yeah, it's a little bit darker than the... We also have white sand. Where is my Orico? Still far brown. That's even thicker. Oh, you have it here. Yeah. Oh, that's birch. I should get some painting done and finished, so I can put all my paints back. Come on. Yeah, I know. That new system of me with putting all the models and their paints in one nice tub is a good way to organize. But if you have too much models to paint, not really working. Although it does, it's a little bit easier than for every time you want to paint the models and you have to go through all kinds of notes from what kind of colors did I use. And I believe I did not even write them all down. I did not. Yeah, my new recipe, for example, with my petroleum gray. Still have to write that one down. That one is now almost painted. Still a few gray blobs, spots. Blobs? No, I put the blobs on there. Those are the parts that I did not blob. So there is still some gray showing. Some different gray than the petroleum gray. Right. Good. That means that I can give this one a wash, as I was going to. And let's see, what kind of wash shall we use? Do we want to make it really much darker? No. And it's a flesh color. So I'm going to use my very old O-grain flesh. The old formula, probably, because they, I guess they formulated a lot of washes new. And this is, as far as I can remember, this was the one they used before. It's now called Reichland Flesh, I believe. Reichland Flesh shade. Oh, let's get a bigger brush and just get some nice. Can use quite a lot of it. And if this would leave coffee stains, I wouldn't mind, because I will be going over it later with a different, again with also the same, with a little bit lighter flesh color. And as it is to be a little bit worn flesh, it just gives it a little bit more color. Wow, yeah, it does give it a little bit more color. There was that other book, if I now have my, that one is green. I am going to paint, wait a moment, that one is black. I still have a little bit of the brush left. It's to be a waste to not use it. And as the let's get back to the camera. I mean, as long as the base color is lighter, this will still also be lighter. Now, that has to dry. Now I was thinking about the green, maybe to use the same wash, but I think let's try something different. I have a other wash called Mortarian Grime. One of the new washes I have. It's specialized, especially for the indie Mortarian, is the big god of the undead, especially Nurgle. It's also the wash that I used for my mouseling on its armor. So it's a little bit greenish, yellowish, not very clean color. So it's very Nurgly. So let's put some nice grimy Mortarian spit on it, and of course I need a little bit more, but that's enough. Nope, I need a little bit more. Damn. As always with the washes, you think, oh, 1 or 2 drops is enough. Then you know it's not. You know what? I put it on nice and heavily. Let's drown the whole book in it, like that. That one is supposed to be black. What other book do we have? This one. Let's get. Yeah, we can still put another layer of skin tone on it. And now we make a mix from that very reddish skin tone and add that very light pale in a mix from 2 parts of the original skin tone and 1 part of the light skin tone. And thin it nicely. And paint just a little bit less of the surface that we have done before. And that's called layering, only with a very, very thin paint. In this case. And again, as those books are old, they are worn, they are made out of human flesh. I do not care so much if they are a little bit spotty here and there. This color looks very bright, but if it dries, it will matte a little bit more. We did this one. Oh, I still see that I have forgotten a few spots with my petroleum gray. See, it's very important always to twist and turn the models in all directions. Well, not the models themselves, but turn them in all directions, especially with details like this. And I think it is time. Oh, still 5 minutes. Yeah, well, the washes has to dry. This has to dry. This one has to dry. They all have to dry. Meaning I will fill the last 5 minutes with painting a little bit more on the bust I was painting, as I want to try out a little idea I got. see if I paint this one up like the bones I used here, but they are still a little bit too dark. If I use the white wash that I have, yeah, maybe the wash will probably get more into the deeper parts. We will see. Just if you don't try out, you never know. And trying out new techniques is just what I say, trying out. Are you now ruining a complete nicely bust? Because this is certainly not the original, the color that I had in mind for it. I mean, if I had to paint oh my god, I forgot the name. This kind of creatures, I would make them more pink. Oh my god, I'm thinking brain busters. No, those are not brain busters. The official name is Illithid, that is what I know from D&D. But I'm not ruining it. I just need to paint it over later. Mind flayers, thank you very much, brain. You are waking up. And in a few minutes I will see if we can find somebody to raid. So finally I remembered, yeah, this time. Yes, I am going to keep painting for a while. During that stream, or well, if I cannot find anyone, if you have any, if you see that somebody is online and you think, hey, that's a great to raid, tell me. Now is the time. Damn, I like that eye. Nice job on the eye. Being really careful about the whole paint job. It's more to give, as I said, it's an experiment, so why should I be really careful and paint exactly as I should be painting. Let's get a little bit in the face, like there. And now for the white, with a little bit, clean the brush, there's too much brown in it. Then a white and a little bit of yellow for the final highlights. Fluffy. No, it's okay. The Fluffy escaped, apparently. This is going to be a great model to paint. I already see that. A lot of details. A lot of ridges in the face. that looks a little bit like I have painted the bones on the crown of Nagash. So if this is dry, I will add a mixture of my intense white, and I think I will add a little bit of a yellow in it, or burnt umber. No, burnt umber, no. I have, what is this? Raw sienna, that's the name. It's a yellowish, more ochre color. So it's not going to be too white. Good, I am going to look for somebody to raid. Oh, that was Cheeto Box. No. Let's see, social media, Twitch. Who are still on? Jimmy the Brush. Oh, that's a nice one. I want. She's Jimmy. Johnny Beard is on, but he's not painting. He's doing a game. Jimmy the Brush. Always. I like those streams. Yeah, well, thank you all for watching, for chatting, for the helping with the raid. So I am going to raid Jimmy the Brush.
JP is daar naartoe gegaan. Ik was uit.
One moment. Jimmy the Brush. So if you can join. If you want to, please do. It's already 2 hours, yes. So, hey, time flies when you have fun. Sorry, but you can have fun with Jimmy the Brush too. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of the weekend. Hope to see you all next time. Thank you. Bye. Let's raid first.
I'll be back.
Following Toy! Holy lordy! Oh my goodness! Oh no, you guys open. What are you doing, guys? Jimmy, just left the room. Don't do it to me when I'm on my own. Good lord. Good lord. Follow, Pixie, thank you so much. Good lord, you guys. Good evening. Hurry up, Jimmy. Well, yeah, come up, come back up, quick. Thank you so much, guys. Good lord. And for those that are painted using different techniques, Delta says, but have the same color scheme, they can still be in the same unit, right? Are they the same army? Holy smokes! Oh my goodness! Good lord! Oh my lord! What is going on? Jimmy is missing all of this. Joe, thank you so much as well. Gold GM, how was your stream? Welcome in. Hope you had a wonderful one. Oh my god. Madness. up with you guys? Oh wow. Good Lord. Holy. Got level 6 hype train.
What happened while I was out?
Well, I don't know
Toy
when.
Studios, thank you so much.
I don't know whether it happened because
What, because I left the room?
because you left the room. So
Wow. Wow.
thank you so much. We've been raided twice as well by Elden Talks and by Bold GM. So thank you so much for those raids, guys. Bold
Hello.
GM, how was your stream? Pixie. Pixie, thank you so much for the biddies as well. Bold GM says there's going on too much on here. My internet cannot keep up. Oh no. Save the spruce. I will save the spruce for you, Toy. Not a problem. You can send me a whisper or contact us on Discord as well, whichever you prefer. Or any of our social media as well. There you go. Any of those is okay. Dornish says, be right back, I need to do my daily Ukrainian on Duolingo. Oh wow, Dornish. Fantastic. That was a lot of excitement. I need to sit down. There was a lot of excitement for us as well. We've got a train. Chugga, 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 chugga. Jimmy just sits there like casually just relaxing.
I've lost my marbles. It was all the bloody jokes. I've lost my brain completely. I'm trying to get it back.
And on the train we have Toy Studios and Toy Studios. Thank you so much.
He's
for
got the double
wonderful
train.
Wow.
Oh no.
And Pixie
Hiding.
is just adding to the madness as always. Thank you, Pixie.